Welcome back to the channel, everybody. You're watching Firewood the Furnace, and if it's your first time here, my name is Brad, and we got a lot in store for today. So if you watched last week's video, then you know when we were up at Chuck and Deb's at the Iron Oak Sawmill that we brought home this single stick of black birch firewood. We cut it into 3 sections so it would fit in the back of the truck when I left Chuck and Deb's. But today we're going to process this completely. We're going to bucket, we're going to split it, we're going to stack it. I'm also going to take some moisture content readings on it just to see how quickly this dries, because word on the street is that this burns almost as hot as oak but dries very quickly. So I want to take some moisture content readings on it right away as soon as we split it, and I'm going to write that down, keep track of time, and see how quickly it actually does dry out. It's supposed to smell really good, like birch beer. Some of you may have experience with this type of wood, but we don't have very much of it around here. Pennsylvania, it's very abundant, so if I like it, I think I'm going to be getting some more. So stick around with us. We got a couple other things to show you over here and a couple other things to do before we get to processing, but stay with us and we'll get going here. So this is the black birch that we've got here to try out for our very first time here in the wood yard, and I've already got it marked out. I don't know if you can see the chalk marks there on the logs, but it looks like we're going to end up with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 rounds out of that. So this will go by very quickly. We'll get it bucked up, split, and like I said, we'll take the readings and get it stacked. But what I wanted to show you as well is, since the last time we were here in the yard, I have gotten 2 more loads of dead standing ash from the tree service. So 2 dump trailer loads are laying here waiting to be processed now. We're cutting next year's wood already. I know this ash will probably be ready to go by the end of winter, but as I've talked to you before about, processing wood through the winter and selling it right away, you're robbing Peter to pay Paul. You can sell it now and have less inventory for next year, or you can start processing now, hold on to it, and build your inventory for next year. So now we've got the walnut still to process, 2 loads of ash to process, and the rest of what was already bucked up waiting to be split and stacked is done. All that's left right now is this last trailer load of oak, and I've got the trailer situated right next to where I'm going to stack it here. I'm slowly refilling the bins that have been selling. So if you remember, all of these bins down here in row 2 were empty. I did stack another face cord of oak right there in the back. This next load of oak is going to go right in front of it. So replenishing the empty bins. I'm going to set you up. We'll get this oak stacked real quick, and then we'll get into that black birch. So while we're here in stacking, I just want to take a minute and thank everybody that joined us this past Thursday on the live stream. It was a really good time, had a really good turnout. We did the 5K giveaway, and hope everybody who won the prizes, you all will be getting those prizes in the mail here real soon. I got them all packaged up, but they just got to be sent out. So we gave away some stuff and had a lot of fun conversations, including a little side wager or bet or challenge with Dan from the Back 40 Firewood channel. Still don't know how that's going to work out, but y'all can keep the pressure on Dan to see if he can come through for us. He likes, if you're not sure what I'm talking about, he likes to consistently give me a hard time about my beard, and the Santa Claus jokes, and the guy from Lord of the Rings, I think it is, I don't really watch that, but he throws that out once in a while, tells me I'm scruffy and tells me that I'm unprofessional, or maybe he didn't say I was unprofessional, but he said the reason why he's not taking the challenge right now is because he has some things he needs to do and can't look disheveled. But y'all know my story, why I'm growing the beard, so I'm not going to go through that again. But keep the pressure on Dan, and let's see if we can maybe make this happen through No Shave November and then extend it for him through Christmas. So haven't had any word from Amanda yet about what she thinks of the challenge. That's his wife. But yeah, I think it'll be all in good fun here. But anyway, like I said, I just want to thank everybody that joined us. It was a great time as usual. I'm going to speed you up here. I'll get this oak stacked, and then we'll see what the black birch is all about. So there it is, another trailer load of really nice, just about seasoned red oak stacked up there, almost a face cord, third of a cord. That's not quite ready yet, but maybe by the end of winter it might be. It's bark's falling off of it. It's really light. It sounds really good. But funny story real quick before we get over to this black birch. While I was filming that time lapse there, I just checked my phone and got a text message from a new customer, potential new customer, and I'll put it on the screen. But they wanted to know how much wood was in a quart, Q-U-A-R-T, of firewood. It's kind of funny just because just a couple weeks ago I made a video on the confusion when it comes to a cord of firewood. So I politely explained, you know, what a cord of firewood was and what they could expect. But just shows you some more of the confusion that some people have. It's a common theme, so it's not one or two people out there. It's a large majority. So I try to be kind and explain in the nicest way possible what it is. I'm gonna get the 261 out here. It's fueled up, full of oil. We'll warm it up, get this black birch bucked, and I'll give you a little, if you weren't on the live stream, I'll give you a little sneak peek of what's to come as far as saws go. So you all know my feelings on the 261 and how much I like this saw because of its lightweight and good power to weight ratio. But I have been bitten by the bug, and I announced this on the live stream Thursday night, but I am on the waiting list for the 500i. I know some of you may think that's great and some of you may think that that's not necessary, but after running shives not only here in this yard but even up at Chuck's at Iron Oak Sawmill, I just feel like I have to have it. I work hard here in the yard, and you know, it's firewood selling season, so I'll start to have to reap some of the benefits of my hard work now coming into firewood season and have some income. So I decided that I'm going to go ahead and purchase the 500i and just make my time doing firewood that much more enjoyable. But for now, we're going to fire up the 261 and get this black birch split. Were you ever a kid and you went to the local mom and pop shop or the local gas station or the, I don't know, the local convenience store, and you reached into the old ice chest, pulled the lid up, reached down in the ice chest and grabbed a glass bottle of root beer or birch beer, had to use the bottle opener to pop the top, and that initial smell that comes out of the top of the bottle, I wish you could smell it right now, because that's what I'm engrossed in. It's amazing smelling wood. I'm really excited to burn this and see if that translates into the burning process. But I'm going to get the four-wheeler over here with the little yard trailer. We'll get these rounds loaded up, get them over to the splitter, split them, and take some readings. So the four-wheeler's backed up over here with the black birch rounds loaded in it to the splitter. I've got one wheelbarrow here and the second wheelbarrow on standby. We're going to split right into the wheelbarrows, take some moisture readings, and see where we're at. Let's get the splitter fired up and we'll start ram splitting some black birch. Alright, so I have no intentions on selling any of this little bit of black birch that I have here. This is all going to be for my own personal use, just to figure out what this stuff's all about and if I like it or not. I think I'll split it a little small, see if I can get it to dry maybe a little bit quicker. And I'm really excited to try to burn this stuff. The wing, my new wedge, still hasn't shown up yet for the ram splitter. So you'll see me kind of fighting it a little bit on this side right here, where it starts to get a little hung up there, especially since this wood is a little bit stringy. It's not too bad, but it tends to get hung up there on that side a little bit, so I gotta wiggle it out once in a while. I can tell you already that the moisture on this is going to be very high. It's very green, very heavy. A lot of moisture, I can tell. So we'll take a couple more splits here, and then we'll stop and take some readings. All right, shut the splitter down for a minute, see where we're at. All right, let's talk a little bit about moisture meters here before we dig in. I'm not a huge fan of moisture meters. I think it's a tool to have in your toolbox. There's a lot of factors that go into deciding whether or not your wood's ready to burn yet or not. I refer back to my days in, I guess it was elementary school probably, when I learned about the definition of hypothesis. A hypothesis is an educated guess, and the way you come up with your educated guess is doing research and gaining knowledge to determine what your best educated guess is. A moisture meter is simply one of those tools. I go by feel, I go by look, I go by sound, I go by smell, and once in a while I do refer to the moisture meter. But I do not depend on this. So I've had 3 different moisture meters, and I've tested them side by side and gotten 3 different readings off of all 3 of them. And I don't just mean off a few percent, I mean 10, 12, 15% difference, which is a lot. So we all strive for the 20% mark. For outdoor burning, I think 25% is probably good. I can tell already that this is going to be wet, but the determining factor is going to be how quickly it dries. So let's check it here. So that was just split, and it's showing 84%, 85. So that's 81, it just showed. Check a different piece here. This is more towards the outside, and it's about 64, 65%. Like I told you, I could tell when I was splitting it that it was pretty wet, pretty green, but just sitting here in the sun these few minutes, the outside of it's drying very quickly. Here's another one, it says 88%, 78. It's dropping as we're looking at it, settling out about 70, 75%. So I don't know, it's definitely not ready to burn. I don't need a moisture meter to tell me that, but if you want to use them to kind of help you gauge, I used this a good bit when I was first starting out until I learned how to tell the difference, you know, between looking at the cracks in the wood. Is the bark separating from the wood? Does it sound like bowling pins? I even put my lips up against the wood sometimes. You put your lips on the wood, you can feel if there's moisture in there. A lot of different tricks, but I just ask, if you're trying to determine the moisture of your wood, don't depend on this solely. I don't trust it. All right, everybody, I'm going to wrap it up today. That's going to be it. I'm going to finish splitting the rest of this black birch here into the wheelbarrows. I'm going to stack it in a special area all by itself, because that's going to be for me to try out. And I really wish the kids were here to smell that. I think they would really like that, especially my son. He's a big root beer guy. But thank you for joining us today. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Check out some of our other videos here at the end. Please like and subscribe. Tell your friends about the channel, and we will see you next time. Have a great week, everybody.